Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Authentic Podcast with Justin Doulard. And thank you for tuning in to another episode. And now, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. Another genuine conversation with a unique individual. It's time!
All right. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whenever you're listening. Welcome back to the podcast. Got to always crack open the ice cold bubbly. Not sponsored by Bubbly, but maybe one day. Joining me today is Mr. Chase Hopkins Wilson out in California. Chase, what's going on, brother?
Hey, what's going on, Doulard? Thanks for having me.
No problem, sir. Glad to do it. So I'm drinking carbonated water. Chase has got some Oktoberfest.
Got a Das Boot loaded up here.
And we are going to do a Q1 NFL recap. We are 4 weeks down, so we're going to see how the season's going and just kind of chat about it. Chase has got some pretty good notes, some hot topics, so let's get rolling.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really just coming on this as a fan of the NFL and a fan of yours and of this podcast, and just looking to maybe etch my name in the epitaph of this podcast as a sports correspondent, but quite literally just a fan and nothing more than that, really.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's not a sports podcast. It's a lot of different things, but obviously I'm a huge sports fan. I'm a huge NFL fan. Play fantasy, follow it weekly, huge Eagles fan, so I love to talk about it. But let's get going. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, congrats. Congrats on being a dad. I don't know if you've announced that to your following yet, but you're a dad, even though the baby's not born yet. Congratulations to you, sir.
Thank you very much. And I haven't announced it here. That's the first time, but I told Facebook and Instagram, so that's probably the same thing, a lot more people. So I appreciate it. Really excited. He will be born probably like 2 weeks after the Super Bowl, so it's perfect timing.
Yeah, man, I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
So I got some first quarter takeaways for this, but I'd like to play a game with you first. If you will just bear with me here.
100%.
I want to test your knowledge to see, kind of validate how much of a football fan you are. I'm going to play the theme songs from each different NFL show, and I want you to try to tell me which station that song is on, as in which channel it is.
Okay.
So here's the first one. You ready?
Okay. So it's pretty quiet, but I can hear it. So definitely Sunday Night Football.
Yep.
Definitely on NBC.
That's right. NBC Sunday Night Football. Man, you're 1 for 1. Let me see. This one, this is a layup here. Let me see how you can do with this one.
I do want to add a note that I actually like Sunday Night Football more than Monday Night Football now. Sunday Night Football is so much more exciting. The Monday night games have not been the greatest, but
yeah, I mean, are you talking about the booth or are you talking about the games? Because I think, yeah, I definitely think the booth is way better on Sunday night than on Monday night.
I don't understand it, how anyone hates on it, but Tony Romo is an amazing commentator. Amazing.
Right. So he's CBS, so he'll be like the game of the week, like midday.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. NBC is it Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth?
Yeah, they're good too.
Now here's a guy. That's Chris Collinsworth. Here's a guy that runs. That's what he does.
All right. What's sound two?
All right. Here's number 2. Could you hear that one a little bit better?
Yeah, I could hear it great, but I'm kind of stuck. I don't want to mess it up. Gosh. Is it Monday Night Football?
No.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
What is it?
That's NFL on Fox.
It is.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So that's what.
So that's
your,
Joe
your day
Buck and
games.
Troy Aikman. That's
Okay. Well, now I know you're going to play one of these later. I'm going to instant back. That's Monday Night Football. But yeah. Okay. So that's a daytime one.
Yep. So I've got 2 more queued up. You can use the process elimination if you want, but you're 1 for 2 so far. So we'll rate your QBR after we get through this. All right, you ready for the next one?
Let's go. Okay, I know that one for sure. It's Thursday Night Football.
It's Thursday Night Football. Which broadcasting company is it?
NFL Network.
Kind of.
Okay.
Who's their partner?
I don't know.
It's changed a couple of times, so I'll give you a pass because it's CBS.
Okay, NFL Network, CBS. Okay, so I got 2/3 of it. So that's a bro rep right there.
They used to partner with CBS on Thursday nights, and I think now they do it with NBC. But that one, you got it right technically.
Fair.
So we'll give you a half point for that one.
Mulligan.
All right, and here's the last one. Last one queued up. You got to get this one.
Now that, sir, is Monday Night Football.
Monday Night Football. There you go, sir.
Which, in my opinion, used to be the best of the best, but I think Sunday Night Football is a lot better now. So
I agree. I think once Gruden left the broadcast, it kind of slowly deteriorated. They had a wrinkle of hope in the first week because they had Herbie call the game. Herb Street called it with Fowler. I was like, this should be every Monday night. Like, why are you wasting my time with Steve Levy and Brian Greasy? I don't care what those guys have to say.
right.
And like, if you look at it from the perspective of they know all these guys already because they've been doing Saturday football, college football, their whole careers. Well, they knew who everyone was anyway.
Right.
They've been watching these guys for 20 years.
I miss John Gruden in the booth, but obviously he's back at coaching. Knock on wood, he's free with me.
Okay, so now we can dive into the nitty gritty of the takeaways.
Let's do it. I did want to. I don't think we talked about this at all. I want to mention it before we go too deep, and then we can free float or whatever. But I totally forgot about this. The NFL is expanding its playoff format this year, and I totally forgot. I feel like it slipped under the radar.
Yeah, I mean, I think coronavirus really took everybody's attention, right? So they've made some changes to the way football's going to go this year. Not only did you catch that one, but did you know there's an extra game now
On Wild Card Weekend?
No, to the regular season. So there's 17 games instead of 16 games now.
Seriously, I did not catch that.
I'm about 95% sure that there's an extra week of football.
Like I said, something I totally missed or slipped under the radar. So the NFL officially expanded its playoff format to 14 teams in the 2020 season. For this season, the playoff field goes from 12 to 14 teams, allowing one more wild card team from each conference. Major points are the AFC and the NFC will each have 7 playoff teams, but only the top seed from each conference will have a first-round bye. So you don't have the 1 and 2 seed with a bye. It's only number 1. And the way that works is on Wild Card Weekend, you're going to have the number 2 seed playing the additional 7th seed that wouldn't have been there. So
it's kind of like a playing game.
So it's really difficult. That first-round bye is huge because it used to be 2 teams. Now it's 1 team, and then you get the 7th seed. And sometimes those 6th and 7th seeds the 6 seeds previously will sneak up on you and get it done. So.
I did some fact checking on the 17th game. Actually, they did add it this year, but they're not gonna put it into the schedule until possibly 2022. So the earliest they can do it is 2021, and the latest they can do it is 2023. But sometime between 21 and 23, we're gonna start seeing 17 games. Not this year, but potentially next year.
I wonder if they will shave off a preseason game to do that.
I kind of hope so. I
Yeah.
think preseason isn't as entertaining.
Yeah, I think preseason is pretty dull, minus some of those guys trying to make the squad to get some reps and recognition. So they're going to have to find other ways to do that. But I think the preseason may be done for. I think there's a lot of injuries, and I don't know. I could be wrong. I feel like they just don't make money on it. I feel like it's probably a huge, but anyway. So, well, like I said, let's get into the nitty gritty. What do you got?
So I want to kind of first start with like individual efforts and then drop the individuals and focus on just teams.
Okay.
But I think for the first quarter, like talking rookie of the year potential, like who's on your radar? I have Clyde Edwards-Helaire as my favorite to win rookie of the year right now, and then followed immediately by Joe Burrow. I think the only thing that's holding Joe Burrow back is the wins and the QBR.
Yep. I think I agree with that. I haven't kept up with as many rookies as I would like to, but, for Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he went into the most perfect situation you could possibly do. He went from a championship college team to a Super Bowl winning team that was kind of hurting at running back and needed to fill, and he stepped in wonderfully. So he kind of went right in hand in hand. But typically, we always know it's going to be a quarterback or a running back, because I can't remember who it was last year, but the year before it was either Baker or Saquon. And
Kyler won last year.
Okay, I don't know who was second to him, but the year before it was Baker and Saquon Barkley, and I thought Baker was going to get it, but it was close and Saquon. But anyways, it's always a quarterback, always a running back, just like the MVP. So I agree 100%. It's probably one of those two, probably with Clyde Edwards getting it. So
yeah, I think Clyde's got it. Now, MVP of the league, I think it's going to be really tough to evaluate this year because I think there are 5 players right now that are worthy of winning the MVP.
Okay.
And they have all played really good.
Let's hear it.
Well, I'm going to start with Aaron Rodgers
because
he has the best QBR in the league right now. He's undefeated, and I think they're maybe like 3rd or 4th of total offense.
He's also thrown no interceptions.
No picks. So I've got him at 1. I think Mahomes is 2. Josh Allen at 3. And Russell Wilson at 4. And, oh, man, I think Dak Prescott at 5. I know Dak doesn't have the wins right now, and that's why he's at 5. But the dude is slinging it.
He really is. He's thrown for 450 yards twice or 3 times or something ridiculous.
I think he's thrown 500 once and 400 2 times.
Yeah, the Cowboys are catching a lot of flack, and I don't think it's necessarily his fault. I mean, the Browns hung 41 on him, and he had to come back. And same with the Falcons, he had to have that ridiculous comeback with the onside kick. I don't think he'll win MVP, but obviously he's doing really well. I think Josh Allen will. I think he's hot, and I think he'll kind of phase out a little. And I think he's just too new, and it just I don't speaking into kind of political things, I don't think the NFL is going to pick a MVP from Buffalo for some reason. So I agree. I think, and I duplicate winning back to back is so rare. Like it's like Brady and Manning are one of the only guys who've done it in the past 2 or 3 decades. So I think Mahomes is going to do well, but I think he's going to push out. He'll be a top 5, but and he's done, his numbers have been so ridiculous before. It's going to be hard to match that, and they're going to compare that. So I'm a Russell Wilson guy right now, and then Aaron Rodgers a close second. I think it's one of those two. I agree 100%. I do want to.
The only reason why I have Dak in there is because he's throwing 422 yards a game right now. Yeah, that's his average.
Yep. I think if his team was winning more, he'd probably be a top 3 guy. But they should be 0-4. They're 1-3. So.
Oh, we will get to that.
But I do want to put in a side plug that Aaron Rodgers won me $200 last night.
Woo!
Thank you, Aaron Rodgers. I really appreciate it. So I've been betting using FanDuel since it is legal in Colorado. Thank you. But put $50 on the Patriots at plus 15.
Ooh.
And then Tyrann Mathieu took that pick 6 to the house, and that pretty much killed that. So I was like, I'm going to recoup. So I put a big whopping $80 on Aaron Rodgers to throw for 2.5 touchdowns or more, and he killed the house. And the odds were ridiculous. It was like plus 300. He'd already thrown one. It was an in-game bet, so I was like, I'm going to do it. Won me $250. It was crazy.
Nice.
I feel like it was a no-brainer against Atlanta's bum-ass defense. So
Hey, there's another reason why you should pick him to be MVP because he's making you some money.
He is, and he's killing it. So he's flawless, and I mean Russell is too, but it's going to come down to the wire. So
I mean, I'm all on board for letting Russ cook. We got to let Russ cook.
I think the reason that he has an edge at all is because people have brought up the fact that he's never got an MVP vote, not even one. I think he got one, or it's like one or none out of all he's done. Not even one vote. So I think people have brought that up and kind of shown that light on him. So we'll see.
The reason why I got Russ down at 4, and we'll talk about it more later, it's because he's having to throw to save his games.
Yep.
And I think could be a plus for him, but it could also kind of hold him back because it kind of hurts his QPR.
Yep.
With his attempts and incompletions. But moving on to Defensive Player of the Year,
Okay.
My favorite accolade, I've got a hot take for who I think is going to be DPOY.
All right, let's hear it.
Myles Garrett, the single guy who got kicked out of the league last year for hitting Mason Rudolph with his own helmet. That guy is back, and he is coming back with a vengeance, dude.
He is. He's nasty. He's really, really good. And the Browns defense didn't do too great against Dallas on Sunday, but they did have some highlights. They were up by like 27 at one point. I mean, their defense was doing really, really well. So I think he's a big factor in that.
Well, the dude is leading the league in sacks, for one, individual sacks. I think he's averaging, I want to say almost 5 sacks a game. I need to verify that, but I'm pretty sure he's averaging 5 sacks a game. I don't know how that's possible.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
But, so do you think even after his fiasco with the league, kind of that eyesore, you think they would vote him MVP? I mean, because that's kind of came and went. He did his punishment, and it's kind of over now. I mean, it was a one-time deal. He hasn't really done anything else. So maybe that's kind of out of the way.
I do think that it'll be overlooked. And I think it has a lot to do with maybe the context of what we don't know about, with what went happen on the field. But I think the NFL loves a rehabilitation story. Darren Waller is a good example of that.
Yeah, man, that guy's awesome.
I wouldn't be surprised if Colin Kaepernick's on a team next year, just to be on a team. I mean, he may not play, he might not start, but I think the league really wants to make amends with what they did to him, and I think they want to be put up on a pedestal. And I think going after this kind of rags to riches story, or a comeback kid kind of narrative really works for the NFL as far as getting people to watch. And after coronavirus, ratings probably aren't going to be a whole lot that good. They're losing money in the stands. So let's bring Stone Cold out of retirement and make him wrestle The Rock one more time. That's exactly what the NFL is going to do.
So I would love to see him back in the league, just because he was a great player at one point, and then his career went kind of south for whatever reason. I mean, he was on the Niners; they weren't doing too well. But the reason I don't think it's going to happen, for a multitude of reasons, I think teams are scared to take that gamble, even though they're kind of shifting. But I could be wrong, but I think Cap is a guy that wants to be the starter, and he doesn't want to be a backup. And I just don't think that someone's going to give him the chance to come in and earn that. And I think he wants to be a starter because he was a high caliber starter when they cut him.
Right.
Or in his career. I mean, he took the 49ers to the Super Bowl after Alex Smith got injured. I feel like he might get a shot, but I just feel like he wants to be a number one, and someone's not going to give him that shot, whether that's for personal reasons or because they already got their QB1. But I don't know. I could be wrong. The reason I compare it is because look how long it took Cam Newton to get signed. The Patriots got him for nothing.
I was about to say, it's a Cam Newton paradox. He doesn't want to be a backup anywhere.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, I don't know if he's, burning out in his career. He looks okay right now before he got COVID, but I thought it took a really long time to get him signed. And for the money he did, they stole him. And I mean, he was a free agent for Jameis Winston got picked before him. Of course, Jameis Winston, had quite a few touchdowns, just a lot of turnovers, but
30 for 30, baby.
That Brett Favre.
Did you hear he got LASIK surgery this offseason?
Yeah, apparently he had bad eyesight or something. Who
Jameis
knows?
Squinston,
Oh, I do not like that guy, and that's not even really like about his
crab
past at Florida
legs,
State. I just
crab
don't like
legs.
him. Oh, and then when he did the whole when they were playing the Saints, when he did the whole W and he was like eating it. Did you see that?
Hmm.
He was like, "We're gonna get that W," and he was like licking all his fingers. It was like, dude,
And
you're just not it, man. You're just
and
not
wasn't
pumping it
wasn't
in.
that like right after some sexual allegations came out about him mistreating a woman?
Yeah,
Pretty
he's
sure.
got all kinds of stuff, man.
Yeah.
What about that Heisman class? You got Marcus Mariota and him, both backups 3 years later.
Yeah. Well, Heisman is just a trophy for a really good college quarterback.
Yeah.
Coming as an Oklahoma fan and seeing what Baker and Kyler did, and I mean Jason White, Sam Bradford, it's a college award, and we shouldn't take away from how good those guys were in college, but we've seen it time in and time out. It's not indicative of how good you're going to play in the NFL. I mean, what's his name from LSU that won it?
Oh,
I mean, the biggest bust ever.
Jamarcus Russell, was that him?
Jamarcus Russell.
Oh,
Yeah,
gosh.
exactly. So,
Do you remember the infamous story about him in the film?
no, I have not heard the story.
I'm gonna misinterpret it a little bit. I can't remember exactly, but I want to say it was when the Raiders had already drafted him. They gave him some film to study. They said, study this or whatnot, and it was a blank tape on purpose.
Oh,
And he came back. He came back in the room talking about all these coverages he broke down and saw, and it was a blank tape, which means he didn't even watch it.
Oh man,
And then after they cut him,
that's fucked up though on the Raiders' part. I mean, but it's also fucked up on Jamarcus Russell's part. Is this a cussing podcast? I don't know.
No, yeah, you're fine. It's
Okay.
I mean, it sounds like they kind of knew that they'd already got themselves in trouble by drafting him. If you have to do that, that's pretty pathetic. If you can't trust your guy to watch some tape, but
It reminds me of the movie Draft Day when they put the $100 bill on the back of the playbook to see if the guy actually read the playbook. It's exactly that.
I'm so scatterbrained, and we're going way off topic, and we'll get after this. But another story, I've told this to so many people because I just think it's crazy how in depth the NFL is. And this is all kind of just spitballing from what I remember reading, but talking about finding guys with bad tendencies in the draft, and these guys scout them ridiculously. So my brother the other day, this is kind of keyed into it, just a factor. My brother did it the other day, sent me this like memo or email or letter or something that someone getting into the draft, they called his old junior high teacher, a teacher, not a coach, and asked how he was as a student, like if he skipped class. Like this guy's like 21, 22 now, and they're calling, Miss Susie, 7th grade, be like, hey, how was little Jimmy in 5th grade algebra? I was like, that's crazy. They go back that far. And then the other story I have was about Justin Blackman, who we know had some major substance abuse issues and just fizzled out of the league, just DUI after DUI, possession of marijuana, just little petty stuff that, you could pay an Uber driver for when you're a multimillionaire. But anyways, number 4 pick in the draft from Oklahoma State, best wide receiver in the nation at the time. So I read a story that one of the NFL scouts in the top 10, because they knew he was going to go in the top 10. A scout went to Stillwater for a week, couple nights, because they heard Justin was a heavy drinker.
A partier.
They heard he was out all the time, so they said, we're going to go see. And they sent this scout to the dive bars to shadow him and see how often he showed up.
All right, hold on. Before you go further, I'm going to defend the Pokes here. All of the Pokes. Every OSU Cowboy. I am not a Pokes fan. I'm going to defend them. There isn't anything else to do in Stillwater, Oklahoma. So everyone goes to the bars in Stillwater, Oklahoma.
What is it? What street is that? Is it Washington Street? I don't know. But if you're getting ready for the draft and you're going to be a top 10 pick, you might just chill out for a little bit. If people are calling, asking, I don't know. Or there's nothing wrong with going to the bar either. These guys know he's 21, 22. But what was he doing at the bar? Was he, leaving the bar puking? Was he there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? I mean, come on. There had to be.
Well, it sounds like he was driving home.
Oh, too soon. Oh.
So, just to fact check, it's 5 sacks total, not 5 sacks average for Myles Garrett.
Okay, that's still pretty good.
He's currently tied with Zadarius Smith from Green Bay.
Okay.
And looks like Aldon Smith from think he's at Dallas. Yeah, he's behind him with 4 sacks. So those 3 are probably our DPOY contenders. I mean, it's always easy to say Aaron Donald, but I really think Myles Garrett's going to steal it this year.
Yeah, he's a good contender. I did pull that article up while you're looking at. Let's see. Okay. Just want to read real quick, then we will officially move on. Okay. There was concerns about the former Oklahoma State receiver's off-field conduct leading up to the draft. He was arrested on DUI in 2010. Dominic said one of the Buccaneers scouts followed Blackman around Stillwater. We found out there was a bar called the Cricket Inn, or the Cricket, which was popular at Oklahoma State. So the scout would sit there for a week. He sat there for 1 week, went in every day at 3 o'clock, and stayed till 11 o'clock at night. That was his only job. And we checked how many times did Justin Blackman come to the bar, and he came in too many times, and we took him off our board. The Buccaneers held the 5th pick in the draft, but traded it to the Jaguars for the number 7 pick, and the Jaguars ended up taking Justin Blackman. So the Bucs wanted him, sent the scout down to the Cricket, and realized he was at the bar too much. So
I think the fear is like both Tampa Bay and Jacksonville are kind of drinking towns, so maybe they're like, I don't know, this guy could be going out, so maybe we need to decide whether we keep him or not, because we don't want him in and out of the bars all the time.
Yep. All right, fun stories. Moving on though. What else you got?
Best kicker. We do not hold the kicker in as high of regard as we should hold him.
Are you sponsored by
how
Pat
many?
McAfee?
I'm not sponsored by Pat. He was a punter.
But he is for the kicking and punting teams.
Well, I mean, look at what they contribute. I kind of support him on the points piece. Like,
That guy made
kickers score.
They make like $60,000-$70,000 a kick or a punt or something. So good for them. Mm-hmm. But
yeah,
did you see Harrison Butker? Did you see when they played the Chargers in overtime, those field goals he had to make? So he made 350. It was like 52 or 53 yards in a row. Like the first one was a flag. The second one was like a timeout. I think it was 2 timeouts. But he made 3 in a row in overtime.
So I've been in that stadium, and I'll tell you why it's easy to kick in that stadium. They have it's like an open air stadium, but there's also like a dome. So it feels like an open air stadium. So it feels like your kicks are big, but there's no wind. So it feels like your kicks are just going so much further.
Very nice. That's the Charger Stadium, the new one?
Yeah, the LA Stadium. So it's SoFi Stadium. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's Chargers and Rams Stadium.
So who's your kicker then? You were talking about. You said your
Rodrigo Blankenship, the rookie. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Also potential ROI, even though he'll never win it because kickers don't win that award. No. But the guy has been kicking great. He kicked great in college, and he's kicking great in the NFL right now. I think he's missed maybe 1 field goal.
2 notes that I know on that, and I don't follow the Colts or kickers much at all, but I did see so first of all, he beat out Adam Vinatieri for the job, even though Adam Vinatieri is like 49 or something. I think he's really like 45. He's really old, but beat him out. Still a pretty good accolade no matter how old he is. And then 2, I saw that I want to say the first 2 or 3 games at least, he has outscored their opponents. Rodrigo has, which isn't a test to the whole team, their defense, but
the defense, yeah.
Yeah, but still pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So do we want to talk about some teams that you should not bet on?
We should. I know who you're going to say, and I 100% agree.
Well, let me give you a little memory hint. Don't lay them bets down on those New York Jets. You can remember that. You won't lose a bet.
This sounds like a Christmas tale, but I 100% agree. Even though I didn't bet a lot, I'm pretty active on the bets, obviously. I'm sure people are going to pick up on that. Even if it's $10, I like to make some fun prop bets. But last week, Thursday Night Football, by the way, so terrible every single week. Hopefully this week will be better. But I was thinking, okay, the Broncos are on their 3rd-string quarterback. They had a short week. They traveled to New York. I was like, I'll take the Jets. Money line, not even spread. Oh, my God. And they had like 2 pick sixes or something ridiculous.
Let me tell you why you don't bet on the Jets.
I already know, but let's hear it.
They have the worst offense in the NFL. They are last place in total offense, and they are last place in total passing yards. They are the worst team in the NFL, hands down.
As an armchair quarterback, I'm going to confidently say, Sam Darnold, you are a bum.
Bum.
So,
Overrated.
Yes or no question. Do the Jets draft Trevor Lawrence if they have the chance?
I don't think they're going to have the top pick.
But the top pick isn't always guaranteed to be Trevor Lawrence.
That's right. I don't think they take a quarterback.
Really? You think Sam's still good?
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. They're going to fire Adam. That guy's gone.
He should be gone right now instead of Bill O'Brien.
There's a few guys that should be gone, but he definitely should be gone. And I think this new coach is going to want to keep whatever he's got right now and work with it, and then add pieces. Because the Jets haven't figured out their identity. Do we build through the draft? Do we build through free agency? And they're kind of all over the place. That's what they need. Is they need a GM that's going to allow them to choose one way, one direction. If we're going to build through the draft, let's focus on one side of the ball to build through the draft, and then let's use the other side of the ball to build through free agency, or let's do the opposite, or let's only build through free agency. But the biggest problem is they can't decide which direction to go, and it's been a problem for them.
Except for Buffalo, the state of New York it's in a bad place. The Giants, the Jets, 0-8.
Well, the other three teams that I have as my don't bet on teams, do not bet on the Falcons.
Oh my!
They're going to blow it up. They're not going to be able to win games. They'll win some games, but they're the worst team in that division.
Absolutely.
Do not bet on the Vikings. I have historically been a Vikings fan, but I think with losing what they've lost in this offseason, they lost a lot of guys on defense to free agency. They lost a receiver in the trade.
Stephon Diggs.
I mean, Jefferson's going to be good eventually, but he's not good right now. I mean, he's doing well, but he's not going to be what Stephon Diggs was. And Kirk Cousins is just not the guy. And
he's not bad, but he's just not. He just doesn't have that.
Not good.
Factor. Yeah.
He's not bad, but he's not good.
Yep, I agree 100%. I don't hate the guy, but I don't. He's definitely not. I don't know. He just, like you said, he just doesn't have that it factor. So.
And then the last team, don't bet on the Dolphins. Don't bet on Miami.
Yeah, I think that one's pretty self-explanatory, but I agree. You think Tua comes in soon or no? I think Ryan Fitzpatrick's doing okay, and I think, in my opinion, I mean, I don't know anything about coaching quarterbacks. I really don't, but I think they're doing well by Tua by letting him learn and sit. I think throwing him in the fire is too much.
I think they're doing well by Tua by doing that, but they're not doing well by their team.
No,
but
I mean, even if Tua comes in, I don't think they're going to be that much better. I really don't.
Yeah, I mean, I really think they're still kind of in that lower tier, so they can maybe add either to their offensive line or to their defensive line.
Yep.
Now, I've got 4 teams that I think you shouldn't give up on.
Okay.
There's 4 teams I'm saying don't give up on these guys because it's gonna turn for them. They're not obvious picks, but I think Houston is going to turn around. Yes, they fired their coach. Romeo Crennel has taken over. That is a good thing for them. Bill O'Brien is not the coach that whoever owns the Texans believes he is, and it took them this long to figure it out. But I think that team is going to rally around their new coach and rally around their grouping, and they also had a really tough 4-game schedule to open the season. Really tough schedule. So I think the Texans are going to turn around. They're figuring out how to win with the group they got. They're figuring out how to run the ball. They're going to get better. They're just not good right now. I think Detroit is another team that you should not give up on. I think that offense is going to start clicking soon, and I think the defenses just need some work. But once that defense starts shoring up, they are going to be a better team than they are right now.
Did you see them roasting Matt Patricia, though, in his comments, what he said? When he got to Detroit, he made some comment about how we've got a lot of work to do here. We've got a lot of turning around to do. And then his record's like far worse than Jim Caldwell's was. That was the coach. The previous coach is –
yeah,
it's way worse.
No, I think wasn't it Jim Bob Cooter? Wasn't that the guy that was the coach right before Patricia?
It's so funny that that's a real person's name, but I can't remember who it was. But
That's a created coach. Like in NCAA football on Xbox, you create your coach's name. You make his name Jim Bob Cooter. Like that's not a real person.
Why would you ever want to go by that? Hey, I'm Jim Bob. Oh, my last name's Cooter. Like what? But yeah, no, he made some comment when he got there that they had a lot of fixing to do, and I think he's won like 7 games and lost like 25 or something ridiculous. Okay, so we got those teams. Who else you got?
I think the Giants are going to get a little bit better. I don't think they're going to be great, but I think they're going to get a little bit better. I think Joe Judge isn't a great coach yet, but I think he has potential to be a good coach. He's just got to find the right guys. This is his first year on this team, and he comes in and he is a disciplinarian. He is a hard-nosed coach, and he's got to cull the herd and weed out those guys that aren't strong enough to cut it for his team. And once he starts getting those guys in their winning positions, they'll start winning games.
I remember typically for some reason the most little random facts and tidbits I see, they just kind of stick with me. It's just how I've been. But I read this past summer, he was like taping the wide receiver's hands so they would not hold. He said,
Right.
I'm not gonna give you the option to hold. So for a drill, he was putting like gloves on them where they couldn't open their hands or something ridiculous. Like you said, disciplinary. It's pretty intense.
It's like Woody Harrelson coming into the to the Flint, Michigan Tropics and saying, we're going to run this play without a ball, and stabs the ball. That's exactly who Joe Judge is.
That's awesome.
We're going to run this play till you puke. That is Joe Judge.
Yeah, and they've had a lot of injuries. Saquon's been out. Sterling Shepard's been out. Daniel Jones is year 2 or year 3, so young. And of course, it's the NFC East. You win 5 games, you might be good. It's bad.
Yeah, you might make the playoffs.
It's really bad. The NFC, the best name in the NFL.
The last team that I have for don't give up on is the Jags.
Okay.
The Jags have had some wide receiver issues with health and some offensive line issues, but I think Gardner Minshew makes good decisions as a quarterback, and I think that's going to start panning out for them once they get these guys a little better with health. I think defense will start getting a little bit better. They also have to play some teams that aren't so good, so they could use that to their advantage for sure.
Yeah, I still want to know what happened with the Leonard Fournette situation. I think that was just him kind of wanting to get off a crappy team and being a diva, or not really appreciating what he had. But that kind of comes and goes with players in the NFL. So
that, or maybe he saw Bruce Arians and Bruce was like, "Hey, we want you, so just get
start
cut."
acting up.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Tom Brady pulled Gronk out of retirement. He was trying to recruit other players, and he's good at it. It makes sense. He's only got a handful of years. He's a win now, obviously.
Right.
I got a random question for you, as always. My mind is always scatterbrained. Will Antonio Brown ever play in the NFL again? Yes or no?
No.
I agree.
No, I think his behavior has really hurt his credibility. I mean, didn't his agent drop him? He had Rosenhaus?
He had something like that. They dropped him, or he threatened to drop him if he did one more ridiculous thing. And then there was a point where he got arrested for doing some petty stuff. And then apparently there was a time where his wife and kids were going to leave him. And I don't know, man, that guy,
he has too many distractions.
That meltdown happened so ridiculously fast. It was like Hard Knocks. Did you watch Hard Knocks when that was on?
Yes.
It was like it was like episode 1. He didn't like the helmet, and his feet were burned from cryotherapy. That was it. It was kind of minor.
Yeah.
It was like episode 2, still didn't like the helmet, and he was kind of hanging out. And then it was like episode 4, he's cut, and then he's like on the Patriots. He has an awesome game, and then he's gone again. And then it just happened so fast. It was crazy. I mean, at the local sporting goods store, there was 2 Antonio Brown jerseys, 75% off. You had a Raiders one and a Patriots one. Like, how rare is that in a span of 30 days? You got 2 jerseys on the sale rack,
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. I think he's done for sure.
Yeah, I agree. It's sad, crazy, but I don't know if that's a PTSD deal or he's just kind of a prima donna, but very strange.
Yeah, I think it's definitely it's everything. It's all things considered is the reason why he's not playing.
Yeah, well, he was making rap videos there for a minute, so
maybe that's his future.
I thought there was going to be some I don't know, something come to fruition, because he was throwing with all these quarterbacks, like, and these guys typically don't associate with people they don't really want to, put their name with. Like, he was throwing with Russell Wilson and catching with Russell and then Lamar Jackson, and he's friends. I think his cousin's Hollywood Brown on the Ravens. So he was with Hollywood and Lamar in the offseason, and was like, there it is, but nothing came of it. So.
Well, I think Harbaugh is a smart guy, and I think he's like, yeah, no, Marquise, you're good, and
Right.
you have a totally different behavior than your cousin, and we like you. We're going to keep you, but I don't think it's going to work for us here at the Ravens for Antonio. So I got 4 teams that I think you should not hold your breath on, meaning don't hold your breath on these teams, because I don't think where they are right now is indicative of where they're going to be.
Okay, so you said don't give up on Detroit, Texans, Jaguars, and Giants.
Right.
And now give up on.
Well, yeah. I mean, don't hold your breath. It's just saying give up on them, because you want to give up on the Jets, the Falcons, the Vikings, and Dolphins. But I wouldn't like hope that they're going to continue this rate that they've been at. San Francisco, they're too injured. They have injuries everywhere. And I think their third-string quarterback played Monday night or Sunday night. It was a Monday night.
He did. He played it was Monday night football. Sunday night football.
Sunday night, yeah.
He played my Eagles, and they started Nick Mullins. Nick Mullins threw 2 picks, 1 fumble. Fumble might not have been his fault, but one was a pick 6, I think. And then fourth quarter, they put in C.J. Beathard, third string. And he tore us apart the fourth quarter. He almost rallied them back. His first drive, he went like 8 for 8, and they scored.
Right.
They play C.J. Beathard that game. They beat us, but that doesn't say much because we're pretty terrible right now. But I agree. A lot of injuries, and I mean, it's true. Super Bowl hangover is real.
Yeah.
And not to mention, their division is freaking tough. I know you in your notes, you got that as the best division in the NFL.
I do.
Seahawks and Cardinals are absolutely wrecking it.
We'll get to that. Another team I have, don't hold your breath on. Don't hold your breath not only because it's in high altitude, but because they can't figure out who's going to play quarterback. That's the Denver Broncos.
The Broncos.
I don't understand why you would pick up Blake Bortles and then make him the third string behind Ripien and the other guy. I already forgot his name.
Drew Lock?
No, Lock got hurt, and then there was another starter.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And then Ripien came in.
I totally
Allen, maybe? No,
Yeah,
he's somewhere. I can't remember. See, this is why you should not don't hold your breath hoping for these guys to get good, because I don't even know who their second string quarterback is.
One, I did not know they signed Blake Bortles. I guess I missed that. But how crazy is it that a Hall of Fame quarterback as the GM can't find his next quarterback when you got guys like John Lynch in San Francisco, who is a really great GM and is killing it. But then Elway just can't find a quarterback since Peyton left.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not convinced that coach is the right coach for the Broncos. When I think of Denver, I think of high-powered offensive coaches. I don't think a heavy, stern defensive coach is going to win you a championship in Denver.
You know who they got to bring back, don't you?
Tell me. Tim Tebow.
Hey.
As a quarterback or as a coach?
Either. You got to bring something. I mean, he didn't do a lot for him, but he got him a playoff win. So.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But he went like.
I mean, Peyton Manning won them a Super Bowl.
Hey,
that was after Tebow.
He had a really good season that year until the end. But okay, so you got Broncos, 49ers, which I agree with. I think the Niners will. I think the Broncos are terrible because they are. I think the Niners are. You got Super Bowl hangover injuries, and the division is really tough. Like, it was even tough last year for them, and they made the Super Bowl. The Seahawks are always on their neck. The Cardinals are doing decent. I think Niners finish like 9-7, maybe 8-8 or something. Injuries, and then just a tough division. So, who's your other two?
The Bears, Chicago.
3-1. Pretty glamorous for that team, but
don't hold your breath.
Yeah, I agree.
And it has everything to do with their offense. They can't get it to work regardless of who's playing.
Yeah,
they've been able to win games in the first quarter, but I don't think that they're going to continue to win games.
And one of those was, like everyone, they rally back against the Falcons with some ridiculousness. Gosh, the Falcons, I feel so bad for them. But do you think Trubisky's out?
No, I think Trubisky's going to be a starting pitcher and Nick Foles is going to be a closer, and they're going to, and that's going to way it's going to work for them, because Nick Foles doesn't play good when he's a starter, but he plays like Hall of Famer when he comes off the bench.
He's that pressure, man.
It's like the NFL Sixth Man of the Year award. Let's just make that a thing and have him come off the bench and score some points.
No joke. Why don't they use Nick like a six man whenever he's struggling, put him back in, and then give Mitch a break or something? Because like you said, when the pressure's on, he's there. Like, I mean, not as a full-time guy, but like, hey, we need you to come in and do something real quick. All right, I got you. But full-time starter, I love Nick Foles. Oh my God.
He's like a closing pitcher in the MLB. Like, just come in and close this game out.
Yeah. How crazy is it? You're Super Bowl MVP, and then within 2 years you're on 3 different teams.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty wild, but I really think it has everything to do with who Nick Foles is. He's a great backup quarterback who can come in and win you games, but is he a starter? How consistent can he stay? We don't know. And then the last team, I think, don't hold your breath on, the Washington football team.
Oh, God, that drives me crazy.
I tell you why I don't think you should hold any hope for them, and it's because they've had way too many distractions this offseason. For good reason, but way too many distractions. And it doesn't help when your coach has cancer and he's going through a battle, and he can only be there a limited time. It doesn't help when your quarterback turns the ball over as much as he's been turning the ball over. It doesn't help when your top draft pick leaves for a groin injury and only plays half a game. These are reasons why I don't think you need to like hold any hope for that team, because I don't think they're going to win very many games.
Remember when I sent you I think I sent it to you on Instagram, but clearly their marketing team was not talking to their front office, because it was this summer they put a picture of Adrian Peterson up on their Instagram that said AD's ready to roll, and then they cut him.
They cut him the same day.
Later.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny, but Dwayne Haskins just doesn't look great. Of course, he got thrown in the mix too, young guy, and he went to Ohio State, and how those kind of like sometimes the OU syndrome, they ball out at Ohio State. I feel like every quarterback at Ohio State throws 40 touchdowns, and then they come to the league and it's like not real hot. But
I can't think of the last Ohio State quarterback that's done really well in the NFL.
No, they're all second, third stringers, and then a lot of them get moved to wide receiver. Braxton Miller, Terrell Pryor.
Yep.
But the Washington football team, I don't mind the name change. That's all politics. I don't care if it's offensive to people. If it is, that's fine. I understand. But my problem, my beef is you had 2 months to pick a name. Why are you still the Washington football team? Pick a name. If you knew you were going to do that, you got to have an immediate marketing plan. Let the people vote. Do whatever you got to do, but pick a team name. How long are they going to go? Are they going to wait till the season's over?
I mean, I don't think they should pick a name. I'm on the fence of whether or not they should have a name or not. Like if it should be the team or like Red Tails, that was really popular. Yeah. Red Wolves was another one that was popular. But I think because those partners want to get rid of the owner, and they don't want him to be a part of it.
Is that Snyder?
So Dan Snyder, yeah.
Yep.
So I think those partners, and even the partners, like the sponsoring partners that they have, like FedEx and those other their corporate sponsors, they don't want him in there. So if they get him out, maybe they wait to rebrand until they can bring in a new owner or a new group.
That's a valid point. Not something I thought of, but I don't know. It just drives me crazy. It's so weird, the Washington football team. But like you said, who knows? Maybe it sticks.
Maybe it's like football club, right? Like in soccer, that other sport.
The other football.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got your 4 teams. Don't give up on. You got 4 teams. Don't hold your breath. Got anything else?
No, I think those are the ones that really stand out to me right now. And then I just kind of have some divisions broken down, and then some some statistical leaders. I've got some questions for you before we dive into anything else, because I know I know we may be pressed for time, but
We got about
there's
10, 15 more.
there are 6 undefeated teams left in
Okay.
the NFL. Now, granted, 2 of those 6 were supposed to play each other, but didn't because of coronavirus. Pittsburgh Steelers, Tennessee Titans.
Okay.
Seahawks, Titans, Steelers, Chiefs, Bills, Packers. They're all undefeated.
Okay.
Which team do you think loses in Week 5? And I'll give you some information here. The Packers are on a bye, so the Packers can't lose.
Okay.
And the Titans and Bills, both undefeated, play each other.
Okay. In that game, I'm taking the Bills.
Yeah, same
so
here.
I think Titans lose. I don't know who the Chiefs play. I can look it up real quick, but no, I think the Titans are decent, but I think the Bills are really good, man. I think they almost won the AFC East last year, and I think with the Patriots, kind of Brady-less and Cam Newton got COVID, lost a game. I think this is the first year that they slide in. It's not going to be by much, but I think they're going to do it because.
Right.
Even though the Bills were, I think they were like 11-5 or 12-4 last year, so something really good. But I think they lost both divisional games. I think they went 1-1 to New England, so they still have to beat them. And those divisional games, those are always a toss-up, man. Let's see. But I think I got Bills in that one.
I think you're right. I think the Titans will be the first team to lose, and I think they were going to lose to the Steelers. So.
Let's see. Bills, Titans. You got Chiefs, Raiders. That should be a good one. That's always a good one. I think the Chiefs win it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was close. Let's see who else. Who's the other?
Seahawks.
Seahawks got the Vikings. I think the Seahawks
who the Steelers playing?
So Steelers got. Let's see.
Well, Steelers.
The Eagles. How did I not know that?
Eagles. Oh man.
Got a little Pennsylvania game.
Yeah, the battle for Penn. So moving in the same vibe, we have 4 teams that don't have a win. None of these teams have a win. Jets, Texans, Giants, Falcons. Which team picks up a win in Week 5? The Texans are playing the Jags. Okay. The Falcons are playing the Panthers. The Jets are playing the Cardinals. And the Giants are playing the Cowboys. Who wins?
I think the Texans. And I think the Giants could win. It depends. Dallas could come out and be pissed and score 40 on them, and then they only score 12. But I think the Texans win. I think, like you said, they had a really tough schedule. They got a new coach, and they're a good team. They're going to have to win eventually. And the Jags are not a good team, so they've only got one win. I think Texans win.
I agree. I think the Texans will win as well. I think that game will be a shootout though, because Gardner Minshew makes good decisions. Again.
I love that guy. He is so funny.
So do you want to do a quick run through of the divisions and like where I think which division is where?
Let's do this. Let's go, because we'll go about 10 more minutes, wrap it up. Let's do each division. You can do a quick recap, and then we'll predict our winner for that division in each conference.
I like that.
And then we'll go quarter 1 Super Bowl predictions and call it good.
So let's start with the best in both conferences. The best division in the NFC, in my opinion, is the NFC West.
That is factual. That's not an opinion.
And I think Seattle looks like they're gonna take that first round bye. I think if you continue to let Russ cook, they'll win games. The only thing that's gonna give them problems is they don't have a very good defense. I know you look at these guys and you're like, oh, those guys are good defense. Like Jamal Adams, when he's healthy, he's in there. That's good. The Griffins, they have a good defense. The problem is they allow way too many yards. They have statistically the worst defense in the NFL, yet they have one of the best offenses. They're in top 5 offense.
Yep, I think that one's going to be super close. I think you're going to have one of those teams, and then you're going to have a wild card out of there for sure.
Yeah,
and
I think it's the Rams.
Gosh, that division is crazy. I didn't even think about the Rams.
Yeah,
they said with the new playoff format, could this be the first division to all 4 teams to go? But is it weird that some of the hotter teams are not the team that just went to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, look at the Rams. They're 3-1. They've had some decent wins. They struggled a little with the Giants this week, but I really think they're a wild card team for sure. And I think the Cardinals are a pleasant surprise. I
Yep.
think
They're fun to
Kyler
watch.
Murray is fun to watch. Absolutely, he's fun to watch. And I also think that Hopkins, once they figure that out, it's going to be electric, man.
Yep.
The
Well, I
problem with the
agree,
Cardinals is their defense.
Yeah, I agree though. I think it's going to be close, but I think you got Seattle, and then I don't know who the wild card out is there. Those last 3 teams are going to be in a dogfight, but I think Seattle wins it. So
The best division in the AFC I have is AFC North. This is going to be kind of a polarizing decision here because I know a lot of people don't think the AFC North is going to be that good, at least before the season started. But I think these teams have been so great across the board. Pittsburgh has played amazing defensively. Baltimore, you're going to tell me that the Baltimore offense can't score? And then the Browns are leading the league in rushing. The Cleveland Browns are 3-1. I can't remember the last time they scored this many points in 3 games in a row.
yeah,
It was before I was born.
it really sucks that Nick Chubb got hurt. He's only out for a couple weeks, but I think they'll be fine with Kareem Hunt, who was the former Chiefs starter. But yeah, I don't know. Let's see. I don't know if they're the best division in there, but you're probably. I think that the East is really good too because the Pats are still the Pats, the Bills, those two out of the 4. But I agree that division is awesome because the Steelers are back fighting. The Ravens will probably win it because they Super Bowl caliber team, and then the Browns they look for real. They're doing really well. They're 3-1. I think the Browns are a wild card team. I think they're going to have to fight for it, but I do think they're a wild card team, and I think
they get the very last spot and they have to play the second round team or second seeded team.
I would like to see because I think the Steelers are good. I think not a huge Ben Roethlisberger fan. I don't hate him. I'm not a huge Mike Tomlin fan. Don't hate him either, but I think it'd be nice to see the Ravens win, and then I think the Browns take the wild card, and then I think the Steelers just barely miss out.
Yeah.
But
depends on the health.
Yeah,
health of Big Ben and their running back, James Conner.
Yep.
But that defense is great for Pittsburgh.
It is.
How about the worst division in the NFC?
We already know. The NFC least.
I'm not taking shots at you here, buddy.
You should. That's bad.
The NFC East is the worst. They stink. You're garbage.
1-3-1 is the division lead, and we're winning the division only because we don't have one more loss. We have a tie.
This may be the only time I've ever seen a tie actually be a good thing for a team.
Oh, man. It's funny. The last time the Eagles tied with somebody, it was against the Cincinnati Bengals when Donovan McNabb didn't know you could tie in the NFL. And I can't say I blame the guy because it's ridiculous. I don't like ties in any sport. I think it's stupid.
Now, I know we both think the Cowboys should be 0-4 right now. But I really think that they're going to win that division. I know you have a hard time admitting that because you're an Eagles fan.
No,
but they have the best offense.
I'm an honest man. Truthfully, it's not going to be Washington. It's not going to be the Giants. This is a 50-50 shot. It's been a 50-50 shot for the past 3 years. And the NFC East is notorious for a new division winner every year. It's like Cowboys, Eagles, Cowboys, and then you throw in a Giant every now and then. But I would agree with that. We look pretty terrible. I think we only won against San Francisco because we were playing a second and third string quarterback, and then they had a lot of other injuries. And we're beat up. Not that that's an excuse, but we were down to our 5th wide receiver on the depth chart. We had Alshon Jeffrey out. We had Deshaun Jackson. We had Greg Ward. We had our number 1 draft pick, Jalen Reagor. But I don't know. It's hard to say. I think we finished looking at it now, we have a tough schedule coming up. I think we finished 6-10, maybe 7-9, unfortunately. And I think Dallas is like an 8-8, maybe a 9-6 if they turn it around, and they probably win. So, unfortunately, I agree.
I think the one thing that's working in the Cowboys' favor is they haven't played anyone in their division yet.
Right.
So they've got 6 games to play against their own division. Is that right? Yeah. So there's 6 wins potentially for them because I think it's going to be hard to defend. I think their offense is going to be difficult to defend.
Yeah, their offense. If you're an offensive guy and you like shootouts, they're fun to watch on TV because they get scored on, but they score back. It's kind of like, super exciting fantasy game. You got CD Lamb, is it Marcus Gallup? I think, he's doing well. You got
I
Zeke,
think it's Mike Gallup, maybe.
Mike Gallup, but no, they're fun to watch on offense because not only are they scoring a lot of points, they have to. But yeah, that division is, God, it's awful. It's bad. But
all right, but you're not alone. There's another worse division out there in the AFC, and this is the AFC West. This is a hot take for me, I think, because a lot of people are like, what, the Chiefs are in the AFC West? The Chiefs won the Super Bowl. Yeah, the Chiefs are good. The rest of them are not good.
Yeah, it's only a quarter of the division, so.
Yeah. I mean, Vegas, LA, and Denver are just not where they need to be a better division. I think Vegas is improving. Vegas has some talent, and they have a good coach. I think LA they have health problems. The Chargers can't keep anyone healthy. Hell, they almost killed their quarterback. Their own team doctor almost killed the guy. Stabbing him in the chest.
I don't get that. I understand you don't want to start Justin Herbert early because he's a rookie. You want to give him time. But if your quarterback has cracked ribs, dude, why risk it? I mean, that's not good. It's Tyrod Taylor. He's kind of a mobile guy. He kind of uses his athletic ability to get around. He's going to take some shots. Why would you do that anyways? If he's got cracked ribs, you just drafted Justin number 5 or 6. Let him throw it, dude. The kid is brilliant. He's good. He's really good.
How long is that needle? It punctured his lung, right?
Yeah, that's really bad.
So how long is that needle to go into someone's skin? Look, if the needle's only like an inch, yeah, maybe he can play. But if the needle is long enough to puncture a lung, maybe the guy shouldn't play the game.
Yeah, and in addition to that, one, I have no idea anything about medical. We should ask your mother or my father, who are medical professionals, how bad that was. But another thing, it was like 10 minutes before kickoff. Like,
yeah.
You're in that much pain that you need a shot 10 minutes before. Like, Justin Herbert didn't know he was starting until like the game happened.
Yeah, he thought coach was joking.
Yeah, like I don't know, it's ridiculous. Of course, that's the NFL. They don't like the marijuana, don't like all the other excess stuff, but load them up with Percocets and painkillers and shots. But yeah, that's crazy. No, I think the Chargers will do well in a couple of years, but like I said, they got a lot of injuries and newer coach and a lot of improving to do. So
yeah,
and then the Chiefs, they should own that division for probably the next 3 to 5 years without any real challenge, honestly.
Yeah. Long live the king, I guess.
Patrick Mahomes, king of the Midwest.
That's right.
King of the whole NFL, man. My God, that guy owns part of a baseball team at like 25.
Yeah. And he's got a long-term deal. He's set, man.
Yeah, and he's been, healthy for the most part. So
yeah.
Now the rest on his bandwagon. So
the rest of the field, it's kind of a toss-up with the other two divisions from each conference. It really is pretty close. In the NFC South, Tom Brady, I think he wins that division.
The Saints look fairly disappointing so far.
Yeah, New Orleans may be able to figure it out, but I think Carolina is kind of a pleasant surprise. I think Teddy Bridgewater looks pretty good there. And I think the Atlanta coach gets fired before week 6.
I feel bad for that guy because Atlanta looks competitive at times, but then they just crumble. Oh my God. And it's not even the same coach from the Super Bowl, for God's sakes. This is 3 years removed.
They have more first-round picks starting on their team than any other team in the NFL.
Well, hey, here's a fun fact. There are more undrafted free agents in the Hall of Fame than there are number 1 picks.
Well, there you go, man. I'm talking first-rounders, not necessarily number 1 overalls. Yeah. But yeah. But your point is very valid.
I'm looking through the teams right now because we've got a couple more divisions, or was that it?
We have the AFC South. I think Colts win that.
Colts. Okay.
NFC North, Green Bay's playoff bound. AFC East, Buffalo Bills, and they're going to go to the playoffs. I think with New England, no Cam, no Bam, baby. If you don't have Cam Newton, you don't win games. I think Chicago's good, but they're not great as far as the NFC North is concerned. Titans could be another playoff team, but as far as the AFC South is concerned, I think it's Colts and nobody else.
What about the Bills? Are they Super Bowl contenders, or are they just really good in the regular season? Are they legit?
I mean, right now I think they look legit. I don't know if they're contenders just yet. I think we need to see some more of Josh Allen making the smart plays, throwing the good balls, and beating teams. I mean, that win against the Rams almost wasn't a win. They got a call. The Rams lost on a call, really. Yeah. And so I would say if they can continue to beat teams like the Rams that are of that caliber, very similar to those abilities, then yes, they are definitely contenders. But they've got a road ahead, and it's going to be tough. They have to play New England twice, and they've got a challenge this week with the Titans. So,
do the Patriots make the playoffs as a wild card?
No.
When's the last time they missed the playoffs? Probably when Brady tore his ACL. Hell, they might have made the playoffs then. It's been a long time. So Patriots miss the playoffs. Tom Brady makes the playoffs?
Yeah. Oh, Tom Brady wins the division.
Okay.
Dude threw 5 touchdowns on Sunday.
He did. He was playing the Chargers, though, and he's thrown 2 pick sixes this year.
Mm-hmm.
So, when they play a high-quality team, how is he going to do? He had to come from behind also in the Chargers. So.
I mean, Jameis Winston threw 30 picks, and that team almost won.
Yeah, they were 8-8 when Jameis was there, and not too.
They almost made the playoffs, right? So, Tom Brady is, I would say, arguably way better than Jameis Winston.
A little bit. So we're about good on time. We've got some good coverage. Been a good chat. So if you have any final questions or any tidbits, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to post you with your NFC, AFC championship game predictions, and then your Super Bowl predictions at Q1. And feel no pressure here because I am historically ungodly bad at predicting the Super Bowl. So, except when the Eagles won it, you know what I'm saying?
So in the NFC, I'm going to stick to my guns. I think Seattle will be in the NFC Championship game, and I think they'll be playing against Green Bay.
That'd be fun.
I think Tom Brady gets beat by Aaron Rodgers. The 12s go at it in the playoffs, and the hard count wins.
All right.
And then in the AFC, I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. Obviously, the Kings are the Kings until somebody beats them. And then my heart wants to go with defense because I think that has a huge thing to do with whether or not you get into the final there. Because I think the Colts have the best defense in the league right now. But I'm not going to go defense. I think the AFC Championship is going to be an offensive showdown. And, I mean, I really think it's going to be Chiefs and the NFC North Baltimore Ravens in the championship game.
So who's your Super Bowl pick?
Super Bowl pick is going to be Green Bay and Kansas City.
And your winner?
Green Bay.
I like it.
I think this is Aaron Rodgers' FU tour. It's going to be his last year in Green Bay, and he's going to put the best resume out there he can.
After they drafted Jordan Love in the first round?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a great formula to get your quarterback to play better.
But
make him feel the pressure.
I wouldn't be surprised if he left. But at the same time, he wins one, and he's mentioned he doesn't want to play forever. And I think he really likes his coach. His coach is really offensive minded, and I think he kind of gives him the reins. So I wouldn't be surprised if he wins, comes back. But that's not a bad theory because obviously they drafted Jordan Love with the intention that he is getting older, kind of the whole Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers deal. So
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Aaron Rodgers ends up on the West Coast in the future. Potentially Las Vegas. I mean, if Jared Goff doesn't work out for the Rams, he could very well be an LA Ram. If Jimmy Garoppolo can't get healthy and they can't find a decent backup, Aaron Rodgers could be a San Francisco 49er.
Yeah, I'm not sold on Jimmy G, man. I don't hate the guy. just not sold on him. I think without that studded roster, I think he is an 8-8 guy, 7-9 guy. I mean, when they played the Packers in the NFC Championship last year, he only completed like 11 passes or something. I mean, he didn't have to do anything, and they won pretty handily. I mean,
Yeah.
and not that the Super Bowl is every game, but you saw in the Super Bowl he struggled. I don't know my Super Bowl picks. I'm thinking. I really am. Alex said I'm notoriously bad, but I'm going to go AFC. I'm with you. For a long time as an Eagles fan, I honestly thought that Andy might not get one because he was always phenomenal, but he always had someone in his way, just barely missed it, just couldn't get it, but he won it. They're crushing it. They haven't lost in like 8 games or something ridiculous. I think the Chiefs are back in the AFC Championship. I hope they win. They're kind of my backup team, even when they weren't Super Bowl winners, because I love Andy Reid. Doug Peterson came from there. Patrick Mahomes, hell of a dude, just a good team. And I've been to their stadium twice. Love the stadium, love the fans. Hell of an environment. So anyways, I think you got the Chiefs, and I'm going to go Bills. I think Josh Allen's killing it. I think they're a well-rounded team. I think this is their time because the Patriots are slipping, and I think that they have a pretty good shot at getting a first-round bye, if not being a 2 or a 3 seed. So I think you got Chiefs, Bills.
The Bills were going to be like my third.
Yeah.
Like if it wasn't the Ravens, it would have been the Bills. But
I like them because no one ever says Bills Super Bowl contender playoffs. Like that hasn't been said since I've been born.
Jim Kelly.
Yeah, exactly. And then, hard to say there, but I think the Chiefs still have that it factor. I think they win it. I think they're winning all the close games they need to. And then the NFC, that one's really hard for me. Yeah, I like the Seahawks a lot. I think Pete Carroll's an amazing coach. I think Russell's a good coach. Like I said, their defense is pretty suspect, so I'm not sure, but I'm going to go Seattle. And I don't know for the other team. I like the Buccaneers. I thought they did really well, and Tom Brady's also got that it factor. So
and a good defense.
And they seem to be improving every week. But yeah, I'm going to do it for now. I'm going to go Seahawks, Buccaneers. I think the Seahawks win. I think you got Russell Wilson versus Patrick Mahomes for the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's going to be a good game if it happens. That's for sure.
That's one you don't want to lose her in. Just two great guys, great coaches. That's just one you just want to enjoy the game. So
yeah, for sure. I would think that your guess is just as good as mine as who it's really going to be, but I can't argue with your picks for any of those games. So
yeah, well, this has been pretty fun. Enjoyed it. Had a lot of good conversation. Nice little test run for us too, because it's Q1. I think we need to come back for quarter 2.
Hey, I would love to be your regular correspondent. So anytime you need me to come on for any sport, I mean, if you want to talk about curling or, women's synchronized swimming, dude, I'm there. I'll dive in for sure.
Yeah, I've been trying to well round myself in sports. Right now, it's obviously football is number 1. UFC is a close number 2. I'm a very, very hard fair weather NBA fan. I only watch it really in the playoffs, in which it's almost over. I'm kind of following it now, but I might try to pick up on some more stuff to be a little more well-rounded. But for now, primarily NFL, UFC. So, and I know you watch UFC a little bit. So,
yeah, I do. I mean, I don't know a damn thing about it, but I definitely like to watch the fights and pick the fights. We should do a Twitch stream or something sometime soon, and we'll just watch fights together and invite people to come watch them with us or something like that. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, UFC is just so fun to watch because it's growing. It's a good mix of martial arts and then, obviously entertainment, shit talking and hype and the hype videos they do. I've only really been following it for 2 to 3 years, so I would definitely still consider myself a novice. But
one thing, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Have you seen this Florentine football?
No.
Okay, so there's a Netflix show called Home Game,
okay,
and it's about all these weird sports all over the world. In Florence, Italy, there's this thing called Florentine. I think it's Florentine football, and it's pretty crazy. But it's essentially rugby, football, and UFC mixed together, and it's I think it's 20 on 20. And
what?
Yes, and like there's goals at each end of the field, and the
It's
goal is
Quidditch.
the goal is the full length of the field, the full width of the field, and you have a ball, and you have to get the ball to the other side in your goal when you possess it, but the other team can literally fight you. So you have to move the ball across the field without getting into a fight with somebody and then get it in the goal. Now, but once a fight goes to the ground, they have to stay down like you're down. And you can't get up till the play is ended.
I just Googled Florentine football, and the first thing that strikes that makes me think of is like modern day Gladiator, because they're like on this dirt field.
Yes, and they don't have shirts on.
No, they're shirtless.
They wear these weird pants.
They're wearing weird pants. You're correct. And this dude is like putting the meanest stiff arm on this guy, and oh my gosh.
Here's another thing that's super badass. They only play it once a year. It's like a festival. So it's only 1 week of the year that they play this game. And once you're on a team, you're on that team for life. You can't be on any different team. And the team that you are on is the district in which you were born in which your family lives.
What country?
So this is Italy. It comes from the Renaissance period. But straight up, it's basically like a festival. The whole city gets into it. Because
it's like one game a year.
Yeah. No, it's one tournament a year.
Oh, it's a tournament. Like a weekend deal.
Yeah, so it's like there's 4 teams. Each team's from a different district in Florence, and then like I don't know how they seed it. Maybe you always play the same team, like the NFL is, but like they have like a small bracket, and whichever team wins moves on to play the other team that wins.
So as you're talking, I'm just looking at it, but you Google Florentine football, and then it has a more decorated name, which I can't pronounce, but Calcio Florentino is what it looks like. So
Florentino
is an early form of football, soccer, and rugby that originated in the 16th century. So I was just going to read over that briefly, but the next thing, like the people also ask question, has anyone died playing this? And it says yes. While there have been no deaths during the game in modern times, there have been numerous cases of players hospitalized for months. City authorities in 2007 banned the match for a year after a brawl, which saw around 50 players, which is almost all of them, taken to court. So this is like football, rugby, gladiator, Hunger Games,
prison rules basketball.
Yeah, longest yard combined with like gladiator style. Wow, this is intense.
Yeah, dude.
So is this a Netflix documentary? I assume?
So the documentary has all these different sports, but that's just like one episode. It talks about that sport. And like these guys they look like UFC fighters. They are built. They have that build. And some of these guys even train in UFC to prepare for.
Wow. That's like the
Colegio Fiorentino, whatever it is.
That's Hunger Games style. When
Florence rules football. That's what I'm calling it.
I want a jersey. That's what I want. They don't have jerseys though. They're shirtless, right? I want some pants or something.
We need to figure out when that is and just go and like cover it and just.
Yeah, but what if you like drink a couple beers and like, you know, we're NFL American fans. We get mouthy. We like to have fun, talk shit. What if they like jump us?
Dude, if I'm in Florence again, I'm drinking wine and I'm chilling with everyone. Like I'm having a good time. I ain't trying to like get aggressive. I'm just gonna, because you know I'm a stranger. These guys, this is their team for life.
That's crazy.
You can't switch. If you're born in that district, that's your team.
Yeah, this guy's literally suplexing him onto the ground. Wow. Oh my God. Yeah, these dudes are literally fighting.
Yeah,
while the game is going on.
It's like if you put an octagon in the middle of a hockey rink, in the middle of a football stadium.
I swear if Khabib Nurmagomedov found out about this, he would dominate it. If he was there, he would kill it.
He can't play because he's not Italian.
That's crazy.
He's not from Florence.
Oh, that's good stuff.
So like here's the thing though. If I'm a UFC scout, if I'm trying to find talent for the UFC, that's the first place I'm going.
Dana White's Contender Series needs to go to Italy and watch that. Or Dana White's looking for a fight. He goes.
Didn't there used to be like a TV show where it's like the next great UFC fighter or UFC challenge, something like that?
There's all kinds. So there's like the one that's currently going on right now, and actually I should have watched it. I missed it. It's on Tuesday nights. It's Dana White's Contender Series. It's on Tuesday nights. He picks guys and flies them in to the Apex in Vegas, and then they fight. And then if you win, you have a chance at a contract right there on the spot. Then before that, there's one called the Ultimate Fighter, and that's more of like a camp style where there's like teams
Right.
and coaches, and it's a tournament, and they're out in Vegas, and that's a little more like reality TV, because they're in the house together, meatheads all getting
It's
juiced
The
up.
Bachelor meets fighting.
Yes, absolutely. So you got Ultimate Fighter, Dana White's Contender Series, and then you got another one that's called Dana White's Looking for a Fight, and he goes out to cities, like he'd go to Tulsa, River Spirit, and watch, some of the lower promotion fights, and tries to see who's the next star, and tries to give him or offer a contract or get him out. And then also in the show, he goes out, like if he's in Tulsa, he'll go out to the local restaurants, or he'll go do something cool. So there's all three of those. They're all pretty fun, and they come and go. So I think out of all of them, my favorite is probably Contender Series, which is on Tuesdays, is because you show up, you got one fight. Sometimes it's on 3 weeks notice, sometimes it's a month. And then if you win, you got a great shot at getting a contract. And a lot of times you sign your contract and then you're going to fight 2 or 3 months later because you're fresh and you're ready to roll. So,
All right, Dana, here's a free idea. I know you're listening. The next Contender Series, you go to Florence and you do the Colegio Fiorentino football, and whichever team, and it's nothing but your best UFC fighters. Free idea, Dana. You get the best fighters to come play this sport, and then you develop this sport overseas, and now you're not just in charge of the UFC, but you have Colegio Fiorentino's Pro League.
How amazing would that be?
That's a free idea, Dana. Just don't forget me. That's all I'm saying.
That's awesome. Well, Chase, it's been awesome. We went a good amount of time. Really like it, and we will definitely do a quarter 2. Thanks for coming on. You got any last words?
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate the time, and love that you let a regular armchair quarterback fan come on and talk football like it means something. So I appreciate it. And yeah, man, I'm looking forward to seeing how close we are to calling this thing after quarter 2, and maybe I have to do some walking back some things and refigure things out.
It would be hypocritical not to allow you, because I am what you stated, an armchair quarterback and a fan. I agree. So hopefully we make some good predictions, and then we can go reshare this when the Super Bowl comes around. If not, we'll just act like it never happened. So don't mention it.
For sure, man. I can't wait to come back.
All right, brother. Thank you, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you guys for tuning in, and have a good night.